தொல்பாவை பாடியருள வல்ல பல்வலையாய் நாடி நீ வேங்கடவர்க்கு என்னை விதி என்ன இம்மாற்றம் நாம் கடவா வண்ணமே நல்கு. As I had promised, I am supposed to go through and explain each of the invocatory verses for the Thiruppavai. However, I realized I never really explained what is the purpose of these invocation verses. We see that these are taniyans. They're called taniyans. They're separate. Tani means to be separate. Taniya irukkiradhu. It is separate from the actual prabandham. It is not composed by Andal. However, it is composed on Andal in the context of this prabandham. So we already saw Neelatungas Tanagiri Tani. That's the first taniyan. We also saw Annavel Puduvai Andal taniyan. So we already saw two of the taniyans. There's a third taniyan for Thiruppavai known as Sudi Kudathu Sudakodiye Tolpavai Padiyarula Valla Palvalayai Nadini Vengadava Kennavidhiyanna Immatram Nam Kadava Vanname Nalgu. First taniyan was composed by Sri Parasara Bhatta and the next two are composed by Swami Vivekananda. The purpose of these taniyans is for us to have interest in reading the book. When you usually get a book, you will first flip it right to the back and look at what is the summary, or either you'll flip it to the inside cover and you look at the back of the cover and see who is the author, what they've written, why they've written this. That's exactly the purpose of the taniyan. The taniyan is like the summary at the back, or when you look inside the book, when you flip inside to the last page, you see the details about the author, and so that is what the taniyans are. It's very simple, simply just that. It is to garner our interest in reading the actual text. You see in a lot of the taniyans, they will say so many different stories about the Arvars. You see for instance, in Perumal Tirumari Taniyan, you see the story of how Kulasega Arvar stuck his hand inside a pot of snakes to promise that Shri Vaishnava will never make a mistake. Or similarly, you see so many different stories that are included in these taniyans. The purpose of these stories is to garner the interest in reading the text. Acharya has pointed out, obviously these stories, right? The first time they were recorded is after Swami Ramanuja's time frame in this text known as Divya Suri Charitra. However, we can't be these stories are simply for us to get interested in the actual prabandham. The main purpose is the actual text, the meanings of the text, and the purpose of it. And so in that case, we are learning the text, but also it's important to learn the taniyans as well, just to get more of an interest. So today we are going to look at the last of the three taniyans, Sudi Kudathu Sudakodiye. Sudi Kudathu Sudakodiye refers to Andal. Sudi Kudattaval is a person who wore the garland and then put it right back on Perumal. I already went through that story of how she wanted to test it out. Before you get something nice for somebody, you usually test it out to make sure it works. That's exactly what she wanted to do. Usually we keep it as a practice that we don't wear something and then offer it to the Lord. However, Andal did not see it that way. She wanted to test out whatever she was wearing before she gave it to the Lord. And so that is what Andal tries to do. And that's what Andal does. That is what Sudi Kudatha Sudakodiye refers to. Sudakodi. What is Sudi Kudattaval? She wore the garland and then put it on him. Sudakodiye. Shudar here refers to that with Tejas. Golden Kodi is what is written in the Vyakyanam. Golden Kodi, I have already given the explanation in one of the girls that we woke up. Kodi refers to the vine. Why is Andal referred to as the vine? The vine grows in dependence on whatever structure it is based on. The vine can never grow on its own. If you look at the vine, if you try to grow vines on their own, they will stick to something, whatever is the closest, they will stick to it and they will go according to it. Similarly, Andal does not grow on her own. She grows because of Periyarvar. Periyarvar is the person that she's dependent on for the vine. Veve Peravatte Vittu Chitta Kettu Irpar. Tammai Vappare Tamugappar Ennum Sol. Tammidaye Poyyanal Sadhippare Aaliye. Andal says that everything I learned was from my father, Sri Vishnu Chitta. So everything she says is dependent on what he has said in his Prabandhams. Anything you take from Andal's Prabandhams, you can find ditto the exact same thing in Sri Periyarvar's Prabandhams, what her father has written. And so that is exactly what she also repeats here. So that is what is meant by Kodi. She's dependent. She's like a creeper. She's a vine that is growing in dependence on Periyarvar. Furthermore, she's also dependent upon the Lord, like how we saw in one of the girls that we woke up. We referred to them as Potkodiye because she was dependent upon the Lord. She knew that Paratantrim, she grows according to the shape of however the Lord wants her to grow. That you also see with Andal. Sudi Kudatha Sudakodiye Tolpavai. She wrote the Tuimeyana Pavai. Tuime refers to the pure Pavai. We will look into what is pure about this Pave in today's Pasuram in Nayagana and another open. You also see Tuyomai Vandom. I will answer it there. What is the Tuime of this Pasuram? What is the purity of her texts? Thiruppavai, Padiyarula Valla Palvalayai. So she wrote this. Nadini Vengadavathi Ennai Vidhi. She wrote this for whom? Shri Venkadavar. If you guys remember, I hope you remember, in the before Taniyan, Annavel Puduvai Andal Arangalukku Panna Thiruppavai. So that itself, then there itself, I asked the question, why is it referred that she has sung this all for Ranganatha? And I gave the answer that she ended up marrying Ranganatha and everything is dedicated to Ranganatha in our Sampradaya. And that is what the answer I gave. However, that itself was a bit of a twist because in reality, this entirety of this text is she wrote it in Shriviliputtur. Shriviliputtur, the deity is Vadapatra Sai, that is not Ranganatha. And furthermore, she was writing the entire thing thinking about Krishna. So you don't see Ranganatha there, but I gave an answer for Ranganatha. Now, Uyakonda gives the different name. Vengadavar Kennai Vidhi Kittriye. Why she's written it for Vengadavar Kennai Vidhi Enna Immatam Namkarava Vanname Nalgu. So now I have to answer the question again. Now why Vengadavar? Why is she written it for Thiruvengadamudaiyan? Vengadavar refers to Thiruvengadamudaiyan or Srinivasa Perumal of Tirupati. That is who she composed this entire thing on. So I've already given the answer to why she's written on Sriranganatha. Now I also have to give it for this. We will try. So the other question comes is why this Taniyan would be a better fit not for this Prabandham, but rather for her next Prabandham. Tayyuru Tingalam Tharaivilakki Tan Mandalam Ittu Masi Munnal Ayyonan Manal Kondu Thiruvaninthu Alaganek Kalangai Tanangaleva Uyyo Mangaro என்று சொல்லி உம்மையும் உன்னையும் உம்பியையும் தொழுது வெய்யதோ தாழமை சக்கரக்கே Vengadavathi Ennai Vidhi Kittriye. Andal writes two Prabandhams. First this Thiruppavai, and then afterwards she has also written another Prabandham called Nachya Thirumai. So that is a larger 100-something Pasuram. So she has written that as well. That one she starts off itself referring to Vengadavathi. So this Taniyan, this invocatory verse would be a better fit for that one, will it not? The question is asked. However, this is the one that Uyakonda has written it for. Why? In our Sampradayam, there's four important Divyadesams. Koyil, Thirumalai, Perumal Koyil, and Tirunarayanapuram. These are the four important Divyadesams or four important Stalams. First Stalam, Koyil. Koyil is known as Sriranganatha. What is that known for? That place is known as Bogamandapam. Bogamandapam means that is where the Lord enjoys all the bogas. You can go there every single day as a festival. If you go to Srirangam, you will see when they put the dhupam itself, it will cover up the entirety of the room. You can't even see the Lord. You see all the different types of vastrams they offer from all the different types of alankarams. Everything in Srirangam is bogam. It's enjoyment for him. That is what Srirangam is known for. Bogamandapam. Next, you see Tyagamandapam, Shri Devaraja Perumal or Kanchipuram is the next Divyadesam. In that Kanchipuram, Devaraja Perumal, that is called as Tyagamandapam because he sacrificed whatever came to him. Whatever came to him in our Sampradaya, he gave it right back to Sriranganatha is what is seen. For instance, Swami Ramanuja grew up in Kanchipuram. He ended up moving to Srirangam. You see, Swami Vedanta Desikar grew up in Kanchipuram. He ended up moving to Srirangam. Any Acharyan, he started in Kanchipuram. He gave him away to Srirangam because that is what is ending up happening. This person, he's known as Early Child Pittan, he gives away for, if somebody comes and sings the Pasurams of the Lord in front of him, he gives up whatever he has. So he is known as the Tyaga Mandapam. That place is known as Tyaga Mandapam, the person that gives up everything he has. Very powerful, very sad that is his state. However, that is what that is known for. Tyaga Mandapam. Next, you see the Jnana Mandapam. Jnana Mandapam is Melakotai Tirunarayanapuram next to Mysore. That one is known as Jnana Mandapam. Why? If you go there, every single person is a Sanskrit Vidwan. If you go to Melakotai Tirunarayanapuram, you see even the priests, even the Archakas, they know Sanskrit very well. That's how everybody there is very well versed in Sri Bhashyam and all the Sanskrit texts. They have a lot of jnanam, a lot of knowledge. So that place is known as Jnana Mandapam. Finally, Vengadavathi, Tirupati Thiruvengadamudaiyan is known as Pushpa Mandapam. It's known as Pushpa Mandapam. One of the best sevas in Tirupati is the Tomala Seva. He is known to wear all these garlands of flowers. Thiruvengadamudaiyan is known for his love for flowers. That is why Andal has given this entire set of this garland of flowers known as Thiruppavai to Thiruvengadamudaiyan. This Thiruppavai itself is a garland. Annavayal Puduvai Andal Arangarku Panna Thiruppavai Palthum. Initial Padi Koduttar, that Pamale, Pumale Shudi Koduttale Sollu. We say Pamale, this is a Pamale. This is 30 Pasurams that make up a garland. Each one is a flower that is offered, that is made into a garland, and she's offering it to the Lord. Who better to offer a garland of flowers than Vengadava? That is why, because he is the one that loves the flowers, and so hence she offers it to him. That is what is said in this Taniyan. சுடி கொடுத்து சுடற்கொடியே தொல்பாவை பாடியொழவல்ல பல்வளையார் நாடினி வேங்கடவற் கென்னவிதி என்ற மாற்றம் நாம் கடவா வண்ணமே நல்கு. Let us also think about that meaning. Let's also think about how she gave this, and let's think about the meanings of this prabandham. Is what is said by Uyakonda in this final Taniyan for Thiruppavai. With that, let us look at today's portion.
நந்தகோபனுடைய கோயில் காப்பானே குடித்தோன்றும் தோரண வாசல் காப்பானே மணிக்கதவம் தாத்திரவாய் ஆயர் சிறுமியரோமுக்கு அரைபரைமாயன் மணிவண்ணன் என்ன
Yesterday, I covered up the entirety of the summary for all the 15 pastimes before him. Yesterday was the 15th pastime. Today we see the 16th pastime. Yesterday was midterm review. Today is midterm. So today we are going to all have to think about what we have learned so far. What we have learned so far. Prapyasya Brahmano Rupam. I've said this sloka many times. Hopefully by the end you guys will have it memorized. Prapyasya Brahmano Rupam Prapyastu Pratyagatmana Prapyupayam Palam Prapte Tata Prapti Virodhicha refers to the Atta Panchakam, the 5 meanings that everybody is to learn. Who is Bhagavan? Prapyasya Brahmano Rupam, who is Brahman, who is Bhagavan. Prapyastu Pratyagatmanaha, who is the Atma, we are the servant of him, we are being taken care of him. Prapti Upayam, how are we going to achieve whatever we want to achieve? He is the one that is going to make us achieve whatever it is. Tata Palam, what is the Palam, what is the goal? To be protected by him, to always be in his service, to be used by him for whatever he wants to. Tata Prapti Virodhicha. Then afterwards we saw the Virodhi, or the obstacle in reaching the Lord, and that is what you see in the 10 pastimes. We woken up 10 girls, and each of those 10 girls refers to a certain Virodhi, and all of those Virodhis, all of those obstacles are removed by the Lord themselves. And so this is the context of Thiruppavai in the first 15 pastimes. Obviously, the entirety of Thiruppavai, as my Acharya has shown, is a metaphor in itself. She is showing first that she wakes up, she wants to pretend to do this Vratam, and then she goes to she says, let's all go do this. And she wakes up a bunch of people. Then she goes to Krishna's house and wakes him up and asks him to join. And then she asks for Pare. You see all these things, right? My Swami says the entire thing is a metaphor. The entire story itself is a metaphor to show Bhagavad Guna Avagahanam, is what I mentioned on the first day. Konasmin Sampradam Loke Gunavan Kashtaviryavan Dharmaknascha Katatnascha Satyavakyo Dharmataha. I said this shloka on the first day. What is this shloka? This is from Ramayana. It starts off by asking what are the gunas, what are the qualities of Rama. It is that the rest of the Ramayana focus also on this gunanubhava, enjoying the qualities of Rama, thinking about those qualities and thinking about how that benefits us. That is the exact context of Thiruppavai as well. Bhagavad Guna Avagahanam, Sunai Neeradal, is what Swami Periyavachan Pillai starts his Vyakyanam with. However, he takes the commentary in a different direction afterwards. However, my Acharya has fully shown all 30 pastimes as Bhagavad Guna Avagahanam. And so hence, we are going to look at all of them in that context. Whatever topics we've already covered till now, Andal repeats the exact same message again and again through the rest of the 15 pastimes. It's all review. And so, what is the main context of what we've learned in the last 15 pastimes? I can sum it up in 2 to 3 words. I hope you guys will also know this by now. Perumal is Upaya Upayam. He is the one that is going to protect us. We don't need to do anything. He is the one that will protect us. He will take care of us. I've continuously repeated that. If we do not know that, please go and rewatch, because I think I've mentioned that every single day, 15 times to 16 to 20 times a day, each day minimum. Perumal is Upaya Upayam. If anybody is to protect us, it is him. We cannot protect ourselves. He's the one that is to protect us. And we see, how can he protect us? Because he has these gunas. And in that context, Andal goes through the next 15 pastimes as well, in front of him, telling us how he has these gunams. With this, she goes through the next 5 pastimes. I've given the topic of chess for the next 5 pastimes, the chessboard. One of the beauties of the chessboard is each player plays on their own. Each piece is separate in its own way. Each piece can do its own thing. One piece, for instance, the bishop can only move diagonally, whereas the rook can only move straight. The horse can only move in an L shape. The pawn can only move one. You see all these different sorts of ways that they move. However, all of them are being controlled by one person. and that person is represented by the king in the chessboard. We are the king when we are playing, and that king, if the king loses, we all lose. Our king will not lose. Don't worry. Krishna will not lose. However, in this case, all of the pieces are in service of that king alone, and so hence, Andal shows how through these different aspects of Bhagavan, how through all of these different players that we look at in these next 5 pasturams, she's pretending to wake up these players as a metaphor. I'm using players as the metaphor, pawns, all these things. She wakes up the family members of Krishna. They are all aspects of his gunas, how he is serving us through these different gunas. You may ask, Shashank, why are you saying that Perumal is serving us? Silavalava Sevakane Sri Rama Talelo. Alvar refers to him as the Sevakan. He is the one that is serving us. We think that we are serving him. He is the one that is continuously protecting us. That is the true service that Kulasekara shows in that portion. Sevakan. When we refer to Seva, we think that we are going to do Seva. He is the one that is ensuring that we have Seva. If we are putting our food to our mouth in the morning, if we're able to wake up in the morning, if we're able to do anything, it is because of him. He is the one that is doing seva for us, allowing for these things to happen. He is the controller of the entirety of the world. So that is what is seen in this pastram. With this, we will look into today's pastram. Nayaganai Ninda Nandagopanaya. Nayaganai, she refers to the king. King Nandagopa. Nandagopa is the Krishna's father. He is the one that is owning the entirety of Raj. He is the king of Raj. Nandagopanudaya Koyil Kapane. So Andal comes to the doors of Krishna's house, and she's asking them to wake up. In this first portion, she looks at the pawns. They are the ones that are guarding the house. If you look at, I'll go into a little bit more depth of the pawns. But Nayaganai in the Nandagopan, Nayaganai, how is he Nayagan? How is he the king? Indre Vayar Kulatul Viduya Tondia Karumanika Chudar. So Rava says, Indre Vayar Kulatul Viduya Tondia. If he is Nayagan, because Krishna is that. Krishna has decided that he will be the king, and it's by his will that anybody is king. It's by his will that he is that. One thing that I've mentioned a couple of times, Krishna was technically not supposed to have been brought up in Vrindavan. He should have been brought up in Mathura. The fact that he is in Vrindavan is due to his grace alone. He decided that he was going to go sit in Vrindavan. Indre Vayar Kulatil Viduyya Tondriya Karumanika Chudar. He wants that to happen, and so it's happening. That is what is shown here. It's by his grace that Nandagopan is king. It is by his grace that Nandagopan is Krishna's father. Nandagopanudaya Koyil Kapane. Andal refers to Koditondrum Toranavayil Kapane. She's waking up the Koyil Kapan, Vayil Kapan. If you go to the temples usually in India, you will see 2 people on the 2 sides known as Dwarapalakas. They are the 2 people protecting the Lord on 2 sides. If you go to Srirangam, you will see 4 different layers of doors. And you can also see it as 4 sides of the place, and so hence 4 times 2. There's 2 people on each sides. 4 times 2, 8. There's 8 pawns on the chessboard. It is those 8 pawns that are referred to by this Koil Kapan, Vail Kapan, and so that is what Andal refers to here. Koil Kapane, Koditondrum, Toranavayil Kapane. She's waking up these guards that are protecting the Lord. One thing about the pawns is the pawns, they can never. Unless they let you in, you cannot come through the pawns. The pawns, with how you defeat a pawn is, usually you have to use another pawn to defeat the pawn. You have to go sideways. You have to go diagonally to defeat the pawn. Unless that pawn, there's a pawn there that you can cut for that purpose, and that pawn has to let you come up to that point to cut you. Furthermore, when 2 pawns meet each other, they cannot pass each other. It is only if that pawn gives permission, cut somebody else, and gives that way, that the other pawn can come in. That is what is shown here. This pawn refers to that guard that does not let anybody come through that door. And so hence that is what Andal is first going to. When you first go to the house, you'll see the doors, and you will see the guards around these doors. King, of course, he has guards. Toranavayil Kapane, Manikadavantal Thiruppavai, Koditondrum Toranavayil. It has the Kodi, his house, is what Andal refers to here. What does the Kodi refer to? It refers to the flag. Usually you see in the temple, you'll see the flag of Garuda. But not only that, kings will usually have flags. If you go to the White House, you'll see the US flag outside. If you go to any sorts of kingdom, you'll see the flag of that king outside. The fact that, again, Andal is pointing to the fact that if he is king, it is because of Krishna's will alone. I mentioned it in the Tumani Madathu and all Mushutrum Velakku, Dubam that Pasuram. I refer to Jasmine as the person that is thinking that she has all of the wealth. She is the one that has achieved all this wealth. That is not the case. Krishna has helped her achieve this wealth, is what is shown here. Krishna has helped Nandagopan also be king. If it were not for Krishna's will, he would not be king. That's another guna. Each of these points is a guna that I'm showing through these pastimes. It is all a metaphor to show these gunas. The fact that if we have anything, it is thanks to him. If we are waking up, it is thanks to him. If we need to get through, he is the one that has to let us through, right? That is what we see here. Okay, so open up is what Andal says to these guards. Manikadavam Taltiravai. She refers to as Manikadavam. Money refers to that which is attractive. It has bells on it. This door has bells on it. It's an attractive door. Money, it is used for bells. The word money is used to refer to the bells. Why is it used to refer to the bells? Because the bell attracts the person when you come. If you ring the bell, people will be attracted to that sound. They'll think, oh, there's a sound there, and they'll think about that sound. That is why it's called money. The bell is a karna pair for this meaning of attraction. So there's money. Money is what is referred to. Mani kalavam tal. Why is this an attractive door? Because it is attractive to go and enjoy Krishna. Anything about him is attractive. And so it is that Manattik Kinyan is what we saw yesterday as well. Manattik Kinyan, anything of his doing is an attractive thing. And so that is what Andal is doing in this posture. She's going in, she's trying to go through these doors, these attractive doors, to remove these obstacles and to go in and go for that Bhagavad Gunadibhava. To see Krishna itself is a very attractive thing for us. It's enjoyable to us, is what Andal is saying. Manik Kadamam is a door, however. That door refers to our obstacles. Any obstacle, Virodhi Narasanan, I referred to in the last 10 pastimes itself. Krishna will remove these Virodhis and he will go in. Manik Kadamam Tal Thiruppavai, Ayar Shirmiro Mukku, we've all come. Come on, open up this door. Are Pare Mayan Manivannan. Are Pare. Krishna said about how he told us yesterday that he was going to let us in. He gave us his word. Pare refers to his word or sol. So sol refers to his whatever he said, his statement, his sankalpam, his wish. He promised us he will let us in. Come on, open up the door. What that shows is he didn't just promise Andal. He's promising every single one of us that he's going to open up the door for us and he's going to ask us to come in. It is also, you see, Andal is going in these pastimes to the house. We will see later on that in reality he was the one that was trying to getting her to come. He was the one that made sure she was coming in the first place. She did not get up and go. He made her get up and come. And so that is what is seen here. Manikalavam, Taltiravai, Ayar Shiraviromukku, Are Pare Mayan Manivannan. He has given us our promise. This Manivannan, it's very attractive Lord. Mayan, he who can do very unimaginable things. Everything is what he is doing, including bringing us here, including getting us inside, including promising to open up the last obstacle of the door. He is promising to do that, is what is said. Mayan Manivannan, Nannale Vayanendan. He told us, Tuyomai Vandom, we have come with purity. Tuyomai Vandom, Tuyara Padiman, we have come with purity to come wake him up. What is this Tuyomai? I will answer in the next word. There's a beautiful commentary by Swami P.B. Anangaracharya Swami. In the last century, he wrote multiple different commentaries for Thiruppavai, in which one of the commentaries he's given each pastram as a different Divyadesam. Of the 108 Divyadesams, he has given each pastram as a different Divyadesam. Today's Divyadesam is Tirukkurungudi. I will go through that and I'll explain how Tuyomai Vandom. Tuyomai Vandom, Tuilara Padiman. We have come to wake him up. He is he sleeping really? Paadkadal Payat Tuyenda Paraman. What is he really doing? Paadkadal Yoga Nitrai Sindai Seyide. He's always thinking about our protection. What is she saying about waking him up then? Tuilara Padiman. Is he sleeping? No, he's not sleeping. We are the ones that are really sleeping. We have to realize that he is within our hearts. She's telling him, wake up and come walk and into our hearts. That is what she's indirectly saying, that he's going to wake up and come into our hearts, is what Andal is saying. Waking up, getting up, and coming here. He is really always thinking about us, sleeping. His eyes are always open. He's always thinking about us. But she is saying that we have to realize that. Come inside and think about, let us think about how you are thinking of us. Vayal munna munna matadeyama. Nee neyanalikam, nee She says that afterwards. But before that, Mayan Manivannan Nannale Vainindam Tuyomai Vandom Tuyara Paduvan. We have come to sing. With this, I will tell our story about Nam Paduvan. Today is a Dwadasi. 2 Ekadasis ago was known as Kaishika Ekadasi. This is today's Dwadasi because yesterday was Vaikuntha Ekadasi. Usually there was this person named, the story happened on a Dwadasi. So I will tell this story. Tirukkurungudi, Nambi. In the Divyadesam of Tirukkurungudi, there lived a person known as Nampaduvan. Daily he will go to the temple and he will sing about the Lord. He will sing to the Lord because that's what he would do. He would have a veena and he would take that veena and he would sing in front of the Lord and then he would come back. That's what he would do on a day-to-day basis. This Nampaduvan, however, was part of at that time, very ill-treated caste. And so hence, he was not allowed inside the temple. So he would stand outside the temple itself. After the doors were closed, he would stand outside the temple and sing for the Lord and then he would come back. He had this practice on every single Ekadasi. One Ekadasi, what happens is, this Nampaduvan, he is going on his way to this Tirukkurungudi. If anybody's been to Tirukkurungudi, it's very hard to go up to the Nindanambi, Ikkarandanambi. To go see those deities is very hard because it is fully forest, it is mountain. When my dad went, they said, be careful, there might be tigers that will come and hit you. You have to go with another person. So that is how you see Tirukkurungudi as. That Tirukkurungudi, he would go there, and at that time, now they say tigers. Back in the day, there was a Brahma Rakshas that showed up. This Rakshasa showed up and stopped him and said, I'm really hungry. I'm going to eat you for my dinner today. I don't follow Ekadasi Vratam. I will eat on Ekadasi, so I will eat you today for my Ekadasi Vratam. This happened on an Ekadasi. So I'll eat you today for my Ekadasi Vratam, is what he says. To that, the Nampaduvan says, I don't care if you eat me or anything. You can eat me. I just need to go sing in front of the Lord and come back, and then you can eat me. I'll go, come back, and then you can eat me. If anybody, this Brahma Rakshas is not a fool. If somebody leaves saying that, oh, I'm going to sing the Lord, will they come back to get eaten? No, nobody's going to come back to get eaten. And so, hence, the Brahma Rakshas say, you're lying to me, or just finding a way to escape. I don't believe you, I'm going to eat you now itself. To which Nampaduvan gives a set of 10 different promises. He says, if I do not come back, let this sin come to me. Let me let me have this papam. Let me have this papam. Let me have this papam. And he lists out 10 different sins that will affect him. They go very extreme to the point that the Brahma Rakshas, when he gives the final last 10th papam, the Brahma Rakshas says, yeah, you will definitely come back. Go. And so the Brahma Rakshas says, you go, come back. And so Nampaduvan goes to the temple. He sings the songs on the Lord, and then he comes back. And then the Brahma Rakshas says, Nampaduvan is ready to be eaten now. Night is over. He comes back on Dwadasi morning. Today is Dwadasi morning. He comes back on Dwadasi morning. He says, okay, I'm ready to be eaten. To which the Brahma Rakshas says, I've changed my mind. I don't want to eat you. You would have sang the Pasurams and you would have gotten some punyam out of it, right? We believe that by doing some good things, you get punyam. I want that punyam from that singing that Pasuram. To which this Nampaduvan says, I don't do anything for punyam or papam. I do it for the service of the Lord. Tuyomai Vandom. We are not coming here because we want some punyam. We are coming here because we want to serve the Lord. That is what Nampaduvan also thought of. Afterwards, Nampaduvan eventually, I'll finish the story with the Brahma Rakshas. You're probably wondering, does he get eaten or not? Brahma Rakshas, it's insignificant for us afterwards. But Brahma Rakshas afterwards convinces him to give him the punyam of one single song that he sang, known as the Kaishika, in the Kaishika Ragam. Kaishikam is a Ragam that he sang in, and so that pun, give me the punyam of just that pun, and so then he reaches moksha. After that is what is seen. The Brahma Rakshas reaches moksha. And so then Nampaduvan also reaches moksha, or Nampaduvan continues singing upon the Lord and serving the Lord continuously. But Nampaduvan did not do anything for punyam or papam. He did not do anything for, by doing this, I'm going to get something good. By coming and seeing the Lord, today he's going to protect me. A lot of people, the thought process, they will go to the temple thinking that I have to ask for this. They'll have a list of these are the things that I need to ask the Lord. He's not Santa Claus. He's Bhagavan. He's the one that's controlling every single one of our actions. Yesterday, I told the story of the person that waited for a son. He never got a son. Then he went and did some puja for a son. Son came. Son put the father in jail. You saw that story, right? We don't want to. We are not going to the Lord for any sort of expectations. is what is Tuyo Mai Bandom refers to. We do not have any expectations with the Lord. We know that He is going to protect us. Anything good that is going to happen, He will give us either way. Why do we have to go and do something for that? You see in the temples, a lot of people, they will do a Kalyanotsam for the Lord. They will promise, I will do Kalyanotsam for the Lord. Why are they doing Kalyanotsam? Because they want to get married. And so not only that, you will see that before they will make a promise such that you first get me married, then I will get you married. Because let's just say I get you married and then it doesn't work out, the money is a waste, right? That's the mindset that people are doing the Kalyanotsam in. That is not what Andal has come for. That is not what we should go for. He is going to protect us either way. If we are going to have a good marriage, he will make sure that will happen. If anything good is to happen to us, he will ensure it will happen. Why do we need to go do something separate for his protection? Is what Andal shows by Tuyo Mai Bandom. We've come with that purity in mind, without expectations from you. Tuyo Mai Bandom, Tuyilana Padavan, with solely the expectation to sing upon you. Vayal Munna Munnam Machare Amma. Don't change your mind. Vayal Munna Munnam. You said something yesterday. Don't change that. Continue with what you want to happen to us, whatever you promised for us. Continue that. Come on, open up these doors, oh Bhagavan. Vayal Munna Munnam Machade Amma. Open up these doors and let us in. And so with this, the guards also open up the door, and Andal goes in. Through this, he saw that she uses the story of the guards open up the door and we go in. However, this is all, as I pointed out, Bhagavad Gunadabam. We looked at so many different qualities. Each word is filled with dozens of qualities on the Lord. I've only given a couple, but each word has so much meaning of the qualities of the Lord. So we'll continue to look at how she looks into these qualities in the next pasuram as well, where she goes to inside the house and she sees his family members. With this, Andal sees the pawns of the chessboard. Now we are going to next look at the bishops of the chessboard starting tomorrow.
So, Swami beautifully explained. This Pasuram refers to approaching the Lord, but through an Acharya. We should not approach him directly, but we should always approach the Lord through an Acharya. Lakshmi Nada Samarampam. Lakshmi Nada is Krishna himself. He is the Nada of Lakshmi. Nada Yamuna Madhyama. Here it refers to an Acharya by name Nada Munikal, and then his Sishya Yamunacharya. Asmat Acharya Priyanka. Up to our Acharya, to the person who has given us this knowledge. Now in our case, Kripalu Swami Maharaj and Mukunda Swami. One day, Guru Paramparam. I bow to this entire chain of Acharyas. So as Swami beautifully said, Tuyo Mai Bandom. He says Andal is saying we came with all purity. What is this purity that Swami actually explained? He says we came with because our Acharya. He said, go and do Mangala Sastrams to Krishna. Therefore, we are coming and doing. He says, go and do Nama Sankirtana for Krishna. But therefore, we are coming. This is the purity. What essentially it means is, it is not our Karma Yoga. We are not doing Karma Yoga. We are not doing Jnana Yoga. We are not doing Bhakti Yoga. But, oh Krishna, it is your causeless mercy that is the means. And serving you is our goal. So the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord is nothing. The manifestation of an Acharya is nothing but the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. So that Pasuram is being emphasized in this. This is being emphasized in this song. And here, this song also refers to the great Acharya called Nada Mudikal. So Nada Mudikal was born in a place called as Kattu Mannargudi. So this is the deity. There is a very beautiful Rajagopalan deity there, like Krishna patting a cow. So he's a cowherd, Govinda, is the one who took care of the cow. This beautiful deity was the one which inspired Nada Munikar to go and receive the songs of the Alvas. So the songs of the Alvas are called as Dravida Veda. Just like how the Samskrita Veda was revealed to Lord Brahma, and then it has come in disciplic succession. Similarly, the Lord revealed this Dravida Veda to 10 saints, whom we called as Alvas. And then Madhurikavi Alvar and Andal, who also showed that bhakti towards our Acharya, to these saints, is our means for upliftment or our means for perfection. So this Acharya Nadamanigal is actually called as a Kovil Kappa. He is a god who actually he reveals all the secret confidential meanings of the Vedas. When we say the meanings of the Vedas, it's not just memorizing the Vedas and repeating it. We have to understand the deep confidential meaning. And the deep confidential meaning is what, as Swami rightly said, Krishna doing Kaikarya, or doing services to Krishna, not for our happiness, but for his happiness, is our goal. And what is the means to achieve this goal? It is Krishna's causeless mercy, Nirhetuka Kripa, in the form of an Acharya. His guidance, how he tells us to do all these services, following his footsteps, we are doing it. That is the means to achieve this goal. It is a very beautiful Pasuram where she says, and Thal Thiruppavai. So he says Thal Thiruppavai. Thal is actually also, it's a metaphor for, or it is actually means the chambals that we use. So Nadamunigal, what he did was he received these songs from Nammadvar. He was a yogi. So in Yoga Disa, he received these songs from Nammadvar, all the 4,000 Prabanthas. And he set these songs into music. He gave a music form and he gave a dance. He also learned how to enact all these songs in the form of dance. And even today, as we speak, in Srirangam, there is something called Arayar Sevan, where the Arayars will actually enact all these pasurams. They will sing using a talam and they will dance. The meanings of these songs will be enacted. It is a pleasure by itself to enjoy. It is possible we should all go and witness that. We play Lord Radhika and Lord Krishna, that we should also get that action. And then finally, Andal says, "Nee nesa nalai kadavam nike dora." Here, you please open the door for us. That is the meaning. So the person, the god who was guarding, he says, "Andal, you are such a beautiful person, right? You can open the door and go by yourself." But Andal says, "Nee nesa nalai kadavam." Here, "Nee" means Acharya. You have to show us how. Yes, we should not approach the Acharya directly, but you guide us, know how to serve Krishna. We will follow your footsteps. And our Acharyas give a beautiful example. There is a lotus flower. The lotus flower is blooming under the sun. But when will it bloom under the sun? Only when it is in contact with the water. But if it is taken outside of the water, the very same sun will dry the lotus flower. So the lotus flower is nothing but our heart. Right? The blooming is nothing but our services to Lord Krishna. The sun, of course, Bhaskara, is Krishna himself. The water here refers to the Acharya. So by taking the blessings of our Acharya, under his guidance, we have to serve him. So that is the crux of this Pasuram. And then I will just conclude in a minute. So here he says, Nayagana Indra Nandakopanodaya Kovil Kapan. Kovil Kapan means he's saying that mansion of Nandagopa. The mansion of Nandagopa was guarded by this particular god. Why does she have to refer to as the mansion of Nandagopa? Here it refers to the Divya Desam. Not only the deity, the entire Divya Desam, the place where the deity is located along with all the devotees, that itself is a very precious thing. To that extent, this place, where we are all sitting and we are all going to do wonderful kirtans for the of Radhika and Krishna, of Goda and Govinda, this is also a Divya Desam. And then I think like our Nandagopa, like our Hari Swami and Yashoda, our thing, they are taking very good care of the temple. And this Yamuna Mark, that is a beautification project for this Yamuna Mark. So again, we request all devotees to spread this word and generate generously for the services of Yamuna Mark. This is a Divya Desam. So whatever little possible, we can donate. So with that, we will stop today's Pasuram. Acharya Thiruppavai Srimate Vishnu Chittarya Manonandane Nandanandana Sundariya Godaya Nityamangalam Srimate Ramyaja Matru Muni Vijaya Mahatme Srirangavasini Goya Nitya Shri Nityamangalam.